Welcome all. Today we are going to uncover one of the most trending topics going around in our world right now. It's about the energy crisis. Yeah, everyone's talking about energy crisis. It's one of the most prominent issue and the hot topic of discussion around world media's greatest leaders and technological performers. And one of the most basic question people argue about it is the energy crisis even real? Is it real or no? And we'll be looking at the energy crisis from more scientific perspective of conservation of energy principle. And you may argue with me, on the one side the conservation of energy principle says that the total amount of energy in the universe is constant. If we look at that argument, is the energy crisis real? No. It would say that the energy is in the world constant and we are not depleting and we are not going, the energy is not going away. So the energy crisis is not real. But we'll look at the more scientific explanation to it, and we'll uncover the scientific anomaly over here. On one side, we have a conservation of energy principle. On the other side, we have the energy crisis, which we can already experience it. So we'll see how the energy conservation of energy principle fails or it doesn't fail, and we'll go into the more actual details of it. So where does the conflict arise from? Do you even understand that there is a conflict? Yeah, as I said earlier, on one side we have an energy crisis, on the other side we have a conservation of energy principle. So there is a conflict between those two. One side of the coin says the energy is conserved. That means we are not losing energy. The energy is not going away anywhere. Then on the other side, we are also saying the energy crisis is there. The laws of thermodynamics says that the energy is constant. So then how do we experience an energy crisis? There is an anomaly over here, right? The energy crisis is also real. Otherwise, we can already experience that the amount of coal reserves which we have or the petroleum reserves which we have are depleting. And I personally have experienced it around 8 to 10 months back, that because of the coal shortage in the nearest power plant from where the electricity was supplied to at home was not available. So they were out of coal and we had no electricity for 2 days. So obviously the energy crisis is real. Everyone's talking about energy crisis. The Russia-Ukraine war has led to energy crisis issues, and hence the whole of European Union, United Kingdom, everyone's concerned about the energy crisis. Now, I explained you how is it possible. There is a conflict, right? Okay. You at least you can understand that the conflict is, but we'll more look at the more reality of the conservation of energy principle and go into little bit of thermodynamics also to interpret the real situation which is occurring here. So the science says that we are not understanding the complete statement of conservation of energy principle. The conservation of energy principle doesn't just say that the energy in the universe is conserved. It's incomplete a statement. So the first statement which will help us to conflict is total quantity of energy in the universe is conserved. So over here, there are two terminologies bold over here. The first is the quantity of energy, the second in the universe. So it's the quantity of energy which is conserved, which is said in the conservation of energy principle. There is no other aspect of energy being told in this principle. And the second, it's the total of the universe. We are interested usually in a given system. A given system could be me, my home, or something. So it is completely possible that we lose energy from my home or from myself or from India to something else. We are losing energy from the area of interest to surrounding. That's possible. But surrounding plus system, surrounding plus India, surrounding plus me, surrounding plus my home, that total energy will always be conserved. That's the universe for me. So that's the first statement you want to emphasize and understand is the total quantity of energy in the universe is conserved. The second statement says that the energy can never be created nor destroyed. We have commonly heard this statement about energy conservation of energy principle, and the similar version is of energy of conservation of mass principle, which says mass can never be created nor destroyed. Right. The second statement also says that the form of energy can be changed. This is a very important. When we are using energy, we are using the form of energy. We are converting one form of energy to other. So we are using energy. Yeah, really, we are using energy. Definitely. That's where we say that we are using energy from coal, burning it to get a thermal energy. And maybe we use the thermal energy to heat up the steam and then convert it to electrical energy. What we are really doing is we are not using up the quantity of energy. The quantity of energy still remains the same. That is guided by the conservation of energy principle. The important thing is we are using the higher quality of energy which is in the coal, and we are converting into a lower quality of energy which is in the steam, and further lower quality of energy which is in the electricity form, right? So we are using energy, yes, we are using higher quality of energy converting to lower quality. So now we are introducing to the second aspect of the energy. The first aspect was given by the quantity of energy, which is defined or guided from the conservation of energy principle. The second aspect of energy is quality. So let's understand the quality of energy also. So there are two basic laws of thermodynamics. We all know there is a zeroth law also and there is third law also, but these two laws, the first law and the second law, will be helpful for us right now in this context to understand and clear that scientific anomaly which we recently saw. So the energy has two aspects, which I said earlier in the previous slide. The first is the quantity of energy which is conserved, and it is governed by the first law. We all know and we all understand what it means, how it applies now. Okay. The second is the quality of energy, and it is governed by the second law. And the quality of energy means the entropy. You may not understand the entropy, exergy, anything which I'm going to explain in a couple of moments. But at least you can at least understand that there is quality of energy and there is quantity of energy, right? And when we are using energy, we are using the higher quality of energy and converting into the lower quality of energy, while the quantity of energy remains constant, right? So the concept of exergy, this is a really new topic. It's very much possible that you would have never heard about exergy even if you studied thermodynamics in your undergraduate level, because usually the concepts of exergy are introduced and applied at graduate level only, that is masters or PhD level. So it might be something new for you, but this is a really interesting thing. For exergy, what we are doing is it is defined as the actual amount of available energy. It's very much similar to energy, so need not be frightened of it, right? But what it does, it combines the concepts of first law and the second law, which means it combines the quantity of energy aspect and the quality of energy into one single term. The first law said that the amount of energy is constant, that is the quantity of energy. Second law said about the quality of energy, which is given by entropy, and the exergy combines both of those. That means even if we have a coal or if we have a steam at 100 degrees Celsius, the total energy in that steam is a lot higher. But the actual amount of energy which we can use is the steam can change its form from 100 degrees Celsius to water at the room temperature, which may be 30 degrees Celsius. So that change from 100 degree to 30 degree of steam to water is only the available energy. After there is a water at 30 degrees Celsius, it has a lot of energy, but we can't extract it because we are limited by the surrounding, right? So over there, the exergy concepts becomes more important. And if you are more interested, you can go and take up any graduate level textbook for thermodynamics, and you will be very much clear on the exergy concepts. But that's all we need. So let's now clear the thing about the energy crisis and the conservation of energy principle. So you now understand that there's no anomaly. The energy crisis is definitely real. The conservation of energy principle also holds. It's not wrong, right? But the quality of energy is depleting. So the reality is the conservation principles are not wrong, and the energy crisis is definitely real. The world is talking about it, and we are experiencing it. But the energy crisis refers to the decreasing availability of higher quality of energy. That means it's the concentrated form of energy which is not available to us, or the amount of concentrated energy is decreasing. So the concern is not of energy not being available, but the higher quality of energy, which is the concentrated form of energy, which is being depleted. We are decreasing the amount of concentrated form of energy and converting it to a more diffused form of energy. So the concentrated form of energy are contained in coal, petroleum, etc. And the solution which everyone's talking about is the sustainable form of energy generation, which is the renewable resources. So while most renewable energy resources are less concentrated in nature, which means it is difficult to use them. Coal, we can burn a small amount of coal and get a lot of amount of energy. But if we use that small amount of area to get the solar energy, then that solar energy is so less in amount. So what do we want to do is we want to concentrate the renewable energy, which is less concentrated in nature, and concentrate into a smaller space. Hence, it becomes more concentrated in nature. And the most prominent example to understand this solution is we have attempted to solve it using the concentrated solar thermal power plants, where there are multiple technologies. One of the technology is to use multiple mirrors in a large area, and all those mirrors are concentrating. They are all directed towards one central tower. We could have a tower like that. All the energy, all the sun rays are being reflected to this center point. Hence, this center point has a lot of energy now. We can use that energy to heat up the steam, and that steam can be used to drive the turbines and generate electricity. So I hope you have understood the reality of energy crisis and its connection with respect to the conservation of energy principle. And that's all we have. In the next video, we'll be continuing with the more connected units to energy management. We'll be starting with measurement units and then go to more energy use terms and more details of it. That's all we have. Thank you.